Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for joining. Sorry I'm a little late. I'm literally just getting back from getting my hair done. So ran a little late, but I made it 7:15. We're going to get started in just a few seconds. I'll let some people join. When you join, just comment, say hi so I know who's here. I can give you guys a shout out. But tonight we are talking about thyroid disease, Hashimoto's and Graves specifically, and how just taking your thyroid medication, whether it's levothyroxine or Synthroid or one of the other ones, how doing that by itself is not going to heal your Hashimoto's or your Graves disease. Hey, Aretha, how are you? This has been coming up a lot for me lately because I want to say in the past 2 weeks alone, I think I've spoken to at least 4 or 5 different women that either have Graves or Hashimoto's or fluctuate back and forth. And when I asked them, so what have you been doing? A couple of them, have made some dietary changes, but primarily they were told just take the thyroid medication and they will feel better. And it's been years in the case for some of these women and they aren't feeling better, right? So there are a number of women who are taking the levothyroxine or the Synthroid or Nature Armor, whatever form of thyroid medication, and they still feel tired. They still feel they still have weight that they can't get rid of. They still feel anxious and just not themselves. And they have been trying to figure out what else can they do because their doctors are basically like, just take the medication. We'll move your dose around. We'll see if you need a higher dose or lower dose. But the medication isn't going to heal what is really happening. And here's why. When you have Hashimoto's or you have Graves, they are an autoimmune disease. And at the center of your autoimmunity is not your thyroid, right? Your thyroid is what is being impacted, but it is not the root of the problem. So taking the Synthroid, taking the thyroid medication is only going to maybe, right, in some cases, only going to address some of your symptoms. Hey, Mickey, thanks for joining from Australia. The thyroid medication is only going to address some of your symptoms. And even for the few that it actually does work for, it doesn't work completely, right? Like I said, there are so many women that are taking the thyroid medication and have been taking it for years, and the weight isn't moving, the fatigue isn't changing, the sleeping habits, the constipation, the anxiety, the irritability, none of that is getting better. And the root of it, the reason why, is because your thyroid isn't the problem. It's what is being impacted by the problem. And the problem when you have an autoimmune disease is digestion, immune function, hormones, gut health, and blood sugar. So if you really are trying to heal Hashimoto's or Graves' disease, those are the things that you have to look at. Those are the things that have to be addressed. And the way that those tend to show up is you have nutritional deficiencies. You will have digestive problems, whether that is not being able to break down the food that you eat, not being able to absorb the nutrients from the food that you eat. I think I mentioned a while ago that I have clients who come to me and they eat pretty well, right? They're not out eating Popeyes and drinking Pepsi all the time. They're eating tons of vegetables. And yet things aren't really working. So you have to learn how to balance your blood sugar. Most of us don't even have a clue about how much your blood sugar impacts your day-to-day life, how much it impacts your, hey Shay, how much your blood sugar impacts your metabolism, how it impacts the effectiveness of your liver, how it impacts your cholesterol and your triglycerides. A lot of times, perfect example, I had a client just recently, we did her blood work, and her cholesterol, her triglycerides, her LDL were all really elevated. Now, she's a vegan, right? She's been a vegan and a vegetarian for I think the last 20, 25 years. And she doesn't eat a ton of sweets, but she does eat enough that it has started to raise her levels of cholesterol and triglycerides and all of that. And so she was shocked. No one had ever explained to her that link between blood sugar balance in your liver. And so if your liver is sluggish, you will have higher than normal cholesterol and triglycerides. You won't be detoxing properly, something that your body does naturally every single night. It won't be as effective. You might experience bloating and constipation and skin breakouts. All of those can be signs of a sluggish liver. And if you have Hashimoto's or Graves', that is a very high possibility for you. I know it was definitely for me. And the minute that I started to give my liver some attention, I took the right supplements, all of that stuff went away and got better really, really quickly. And so blood sugar balance is key. Hormone balance is key, right? Obviously, your thyroid is part of your endocrine system, so it is part of that hormone system. Excuse me. But when your sex hormones are out of balance, when your stress hormones like cortisol are out of balance, it will also affect your thyroid and how you're feeling inside your body. So if you are only taking levothyroxine or Synthroid or whatever form of thyroid medication you're on, and none of your symptoms are getting better, pay attention. Talk to someone talk to me, right? But you really do need to understand that it is about other things. It is about paying attention and understanding how important digestion is, right? It is about understanding the importance of blood sugar balance. It is about understanding how to properly care for your liver, cleanse it, love it, care for it so that it can show up and do the things for you that it is designed to do. And none of those things are going to happen by just taking your thyroid medication. And here's the thing, I'm not telling you not to take thyroid medication, right? I decided it wasn't going to be the route that I took, but it doesn't mean that it's not right for you. It does mean, though, if you are taking thyroid medication and you aren't feeling any better, then you need to do more than that. You need to start to look underneath those covers and see what else might be going on for you. In 90% of the cases with autoimmunity, there are nutritional deficiencies, right? Because your liver isn't working right, your blood sugar isn't working right, the food that we're eating just unfortunately nowadays doesn't even have the higher levels of vitamins and minerals that our grandparents had. And so we become deficient in magnesium, we become deficient in selenium, in vitamin D, in B vitamins, all of which are extremely important if you're trying to heal Hashimoto's or Graves'. So here's the thing, I am not advocating for people to go out and start buying all of those supplements. It really is about understanding your unique situation so that you can take what is right for you. Too much vitamin D is as bad as not taking, not having any vitamin D. Michelle Renee, do I take thyroid? No, Michelle, I did not take any thyroid medication. I decided that I was going to clean up my diet and that I was going to address these things that I'm talking to you about. I understood that I needed to address my gut health. I understood that I needed to support my liver in detoxification. I needed to balance my blood sugar. I needed to balance my hormones. And so I chose that route. But I do have clients who have and are taking thyroid medication. Sorry, I see that I answered your question. But I do have clients that are taking thyroid medication, and with them, the goal is to get them to a point where they don't need it. Now, if you've had your thyroid removed or you've had radioactive iodine and your thyroid just isn't producing anymore, then medication might be the only thing that you can do. And that's fine, right? In those situations where you have to take the medication. But that doesn't mean that those underlying root causes still aren't active, right? They are still there. And when you have a Hashimoto's, when you have a Graves' disease, when you have any autoimmune disease, you are at a 30 to 40% increase to get another autoimmune disease within 5 years. So just because you don't have a thyroid, you've taken the radioactive iodine and you've had it removed, doesn't mean that you get to just sit back and do nothing. You still need to, pay attention to your gut, work on your digestion, lower your blood sugar, manage, balance your blood sugar is probably a better way of saying it. And here's the thing, stress is extremely important. Most of us are walking around completely stressed out. And by stressed out, I mean, are you always worried? Are you always fearing the worst things are going to happen? Are you unable to sleep at night because your to-do list is floating through your head in the middle of the night when you should be sleeping? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel hopeless? All of those are different forms of stress. Stress isn't just, I'm so busy, I can't keep everything, I can't, find time for anything. Stress is those other things. And so I work a lot with my clients on managing stress, reducing stress, having tools so that when they start to feel anxious, when they start to feel overwhelmed, they know how to handle that. And why is that important? Because your level of stress is directly related to your gut health and your mind blank, your gut health and your stress hormones. And so if you are trying to heal and repair damaged tissue, damaged cells, you can't do that if your body is chronically stressed. So you can have the best diet on the planet. You can be eating all organic, all healthy, drinking your green smoothies every day. But if you're walking around feeling completely stressed out with elevated cortisol levels, then that thyroid, that Hashimoto's, that Graves, that lupus, that MS, none of that is going to get better. You have to tackle the pink elephant in the room, which is the stress, which is how do you deal with the anxiety, the overwhelm, the being overscheduled, the not ever having time for yourself. You have to deal with those. And it isn't easy, but it is definitely possible. Hi, Shannon. You said you had radioactive iodine 30 years ago and it didn't work. Yeah, I've had a client not too long ago, same thing. She had radioactive iodine and it didn't work for her either. 4 years later, she was still having the same symptoms that she was having before. And it's because, the radioactive iodine, just like the thyroid medication, it doesn't fix the problem, right? It's so unfortunate that in 2019, the best that our medical community can do for you if you are diagnosed with a Hashimoto's or a Graves' disease is to put you on medication. It's what they tried to do with me. And I just happened to, be lucky enough that I knew better. And so I didn't choose that route. But for so many people, for so many of the women that I talk to, that's all they've ever been exposed to. That's all they know. And so the cycle continues, right? And I'm here to put an end to this cycle. In 2019, first of all, it should not take any woman years to get a Hashimoto's or Graves' disease diagnosis. The fact that it is taking people that long is part of the problem in and of itself. Secondly, if you are diagnosed with Hashimoto's or Graves, please, 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 please reach out to me, to someone else that you trust to get some more information. Because again, sitting back and just taking the medication is not going to make you feel better. I wish that it would, but it just doesn't. And you're still on different medications now. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised at all, Shannon. I'm sad for you, but I'm not surprised. So if anyone has any questions, I knew this was going to be a really quick Facebook Live tonight, but I just wanted to put it out there because, again, I've been running into so many women in the last week or two that have Hashimoto's or have Graves or keep going back and forth, fluctuating between the two, and they just don't know what else to do. They've tried the medication. Some of them have tried cleaning up different parts of the diet, and it doesn't seem to work. And what I can tell you is that no one case is the same. The way that my thyroid disease showed up for me is different than how it showed up for my sister, which is different than how it showed up for my mother. So everyone needs their own customized, individualized plan because we're all different and our needs are different and our lifestyles are different. So Yes, you can't take a cookie cutter approach. What worked for your mother, what worked for your grandmother, for your aunts, may not work for you. You will need to figure out what's going on with your unique body and get a plan that that helps address those issues. Your nutritional deficiencies may not be the same as mine, right? Your gut, the state of your gut may not be the state of mine. Your hormones might be perfectly balanced, whereas mine, because I also had PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, my hormones were a complete mess. So I definitely had more work to do on the hormone side than you might, which again, this is why we do testing. This is why we come up with a customized plan so that you get exactly what you need for you, and you'll get the results that you are looking for. So Shannon, you said your mom had thyroid surgery years ago. She had twice. And since she's been on levothyroxine, if she doesn't take it, she is ill. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I want to stress that I'm not anti-medication, right? And medication has a place and a purpose, and we all get to make our individual choices. And for some people, yeah, medication is a lifesaver. Without it, they would be really, really, really ill. And like I said, I have clients who are on thyroid medication, and it is okay. But I just wanted to really, really stress that it's not the end all. It's not the answer. It is a Band-Aid. And just like all Band-Aids, we need them when we need them. But you also have to do the other work to do the healing so that you can remove the Band-Aid, right? So think about it that way. When you have a Hashimoto's, when you have a Graves' disease, your thyroid medication can be like a Band-Aid. Eventually, you want to be able to take the Band-Aid off, right? And you want to know that when you take it off, the wound is actually healed. And that is what I aim to do with my clients. It's what I was able to do for myself, and it's what I've been able to do with my clients. So Mickey, one of my thyroid clients, I can tell everyone I have improved greatly since working with me. I highly recommend getting help. It's hard to do it all on your own. Absolutely. I have, the clients that I've worked with, they've done the detoxes, they've done the diets, they are killing themselves going to the gym over and over and over again. And yeah, it doesn't always work. Right now we're in January still, the beginning of a new year, and everyone is still trying to get that exercise in, get to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. But here's the thing, if you have Hashimoto's or you have Graves and you are exhausted, or you have Graves and your heart palpitations are constant, going to force yourself to do kickboxing or cardio or CrossFit is probably not the smartest move, right? You might actually do more damage than good. So a lot of times with my thyroid clients, we have to work in appropriate levels and appropriate intensities of exercise as they heal. Mickey and I have been working together for a couple of months. She's just now able to get back to the gym. She now has enough energy where she feels like, okay, she can go work out and not feel completely wiped out. She actually feels rejuvenated and energized after her workouts, as opposed to completely, baked and done. And that's how you know if you're doing the right form and the right intensity of exercise for where your body is now. So again, the things that you need to look at if you have Hashimoto's or Graves and your goal is to really heal. So let me make that clear. Sometimes people just want a pill and they want to be done. And if that's where you are, by all means, that's fine. If you are, though, looking for real healing, then you have to pay attention to more than just popping that thyroid medication every day. And we do have to look at, are you nutritionally deficient in any number of things? Magnesium, vitamin D, selenium, iodine, whatever it is, B vitamins, whatever it is. What's the state of your gut? And do we have some gut repair work to do there? 90% of the time, the answer is yes, because, our guts get destroyed by stress. Our guts get destroyed by the toxins, the chemicals that we're coming into contact with all the time, by the foods that we are sensitive to or reacting to that we have no idea about. all kinds of things disrupt our gut. And so most of the time, there is a component of gut work that needs to happen. We need to bring down levels of inflammation. Again, something that you can't necessarily feel. Sometimes you can. Sometimes inflammation shows up as pain, joint pain, muscle pain. Sometimes inflammation shows up as swelling. So if you're, if you're feeling really bloated and just kind of swollen, that can be a sign that you have inflammation. But that also needs to be addressed if you're looking to truly heal Hashimoto's or Graves' disease or any autoimmune disease, any chronic illness like diabetes or anything. So we talked about gut, we talked about nutritional deficiencies, we talked about there was some stress. You also need to pay attention to your blood sugar balance, right? Your liver. And so it's not that hard. You can do things like, dandelion roots are really good for helping detox the liver. There's supplements that are, some that are good for helping to detox the liver. But again, finding out what's going on with you and creating a plan that's customized for your lifestyle as well as for your current condition is my best recommendation for you. Michelle, I will, when this is over, I will message you. I'll do two things. I'll message you directly if I'm able to, and I will include a link to where you can book a call with me, and that we can get on the phone and talk about what's going on with you specifically, and see if that helps at all. Does anyone have any? Hey, Jen, how are ya? Jen is another health coach who also is a really good friend of mine. So if anyone has any questions, definitely drop them into the comments. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop them into the comments and I will get back to you immediately. So Charita said, you have Hashimoto's, definitely need help. So lost and missed the terms and everything. So for now, reading and just trying to switch up the diet a little bit more, overwhelmed, tired, and just, yeah. You are so welcome. Sharita, I will place a link. I should have did this, but I was rushing to get here on time. I will place a link here. I have free consultations. We can hop on the phone. We'll talk about what's going on with your specific case, and then I'll let you know how I can help. And if it sounds like a match, then we can handle that. Yes, Jen, it is good to see your face. Definitely, we got to get together soon. We're going to make that happen this year for sure. Me, you, and Joe. 2019, we're going to hang out again. So if anyone has any questions on Hashimoto's, Graves', how to heal it, what to do, what not to do, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll keep this going for a couple more minutes. If you're watching the replay again, feel free to drop in your comments, your questions, or message me privately if you rather do that. That's fine too. I am on Messenger. But yeah, I mean, thyroid, when you think about the fact that thyroid controls everything in your body, right? It's your master hormone. So your ability to burn fat, your ability to get pregnant, controls your body temperature, controls your heart rate. That's why if you have Graves' disease, you tend to have heart palpitations and your heart rate is really erratic and scary. One of my clients, her palpitations are so bad, she's on a beta blocker, right? Not something that, a 40-something-year-old wants to be on because of a thyroid condition. Again, the beta blockers aren't helping improve the situation, right? So if you are only going to take the levothyroxine or your thyroid medication and a beta blocker, you're probably going to be on that forever because you're never going to address the root cause. And, if you've been following me for a while, I am all about solving the root cause. Because otherwise you're just placing Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids. And eventually the wound is going to get bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper. And it's so unnecessary. Healing Hashimoto's or Graves' disease doesn't have to take forever. It doesn't have to send you on a 5 or 6 year journey trying to figure it out on your own, trying this diet, reading this blog and changing this thing, trying this supplement. It's really not about that. It really is understanding what your specific situation is and then getting the right help to, fill in the blanks. So So one of the things I love most is how I got here. You know, I have Hashimoto's, and you know, I didn't know back then that this is where I would be and this is what I would be doing now. But it is. And, you know, I have to say, I am super excited that I'm happy that I had Hashimoto's, because I wouldn't be here to be able to help women like you and my other clients who are still struggling. So Melissa, I would love to know what to do. Diagnosed with Graves at 16, had radioactive iodine at 20, took Synthroid for years, now on Armor, now 47. You're still tired and achy. Yes, Melissa, you break my heart. I know, I get it. I have so many clients who've been in the same situation. I will post a link for you guys to book a call with me. Michelle, Melissa, Charita, I hope I said your name properly. I would love to speak with you all and, you know, see what you're doing right now, see what might be missing, and help you pull together a plan that will work for you. You know, you've been dealing with this since 16. That's insane. It's 30 something years and you still don't feel any better. It's horrible. The medical community should be ashamed that this is the situation that you find yourself in. And so, yes, I would love to have a conversation with you, Melissa, and see what we can come up with. You want to be like me when you grow up? Oh, Shannon, thank you. That's one of the best things I've heard all day. I really appreciate that. I wish I had a me, right? I wish I knew about health coaches when I was struggling. It took me 6 years to figure out what was going on with me and to finally get on the right plan. For a thyroid problem, that is so common. Like millions of people are walking around in just this country alone with thyroid conditions. It should not take 6 years to get a diagnosis, right? And figure out how to heal it. It's ridiculous and it pisses me off. And so I wish I had known people like me existed when I was looking for a solution, because this just doesn't have to be. It really doesn't. And it is definitely my mission in life to make sure that this doesn't continue to happen. For every woman that I help get better, they get to help their own family, their friends get better too. So the ripple effect is really what I'm after. I can't treat everyone myself. Obviously, I would love to. But the more women I can educate and empower, the more they will go out into the world and do the same for the women and men in their life. So men also have thyroid problems, and I have worked with a man that has Hashimoto's as well. My doctor tells me to drink pickle juice. Lord Jesus. Are you serious? Your doctor told you to drink pickle juice? I can't with some of these doctors. That's hilarious. Shannon, you're a nurse. When I heal, I can't wait to help others. Absolutely. Yes, exactly, Shannon. I have a feeling that if you and I work together and you really understand how this all works, you're going to do great things. Absolutely. And that's the whole point. That's the whole reason why I got into this business, to help myself so that I can help others so that they can help others, right? Like I said, there's millions of people just walking around in this country alone just with thyroid problems. If we all help some of them, we could start to end this whole epidemic. And so, yeah, the more the merrier. I love it. Does anyone else have any questions, any comments? I will post the link so that you guys can all book a call with me. I'd love to talk to you, Shannon, Melissa, Sharita, and Michelle. I think I got them all. Yes. I'm excited. I love talking about this stuff. Next week, I think I'm going to do a talk on exercise and chronic disease, autoimmune disease. Because again, it's another thing that I see a lot of people jumping on different bandwagons about. You know, everyone's new year, everyone's trying to get back into the gym because they all think that exercising like a crazy person is going to help them lose weight. But guess what? If you have Hashimoto's or Graves' disease, it won't necessarily help. How do I know? Because I did it. I had a personal trainer for 9 months. She kicked my ass 3 days a week. And my Hashimoto's did not get better. My symptoms did not get better. Did I lose a little bit of weight? I did. I did lose a little bit of weight. I will not lie about that. But I couldn't lose it all. And it was really, really hard to lose it and keep it off. But once I started doing what I needed to do, all the weight fell off, and I haven't had to work that hard ever since. How about that? All right, guys, I have another call with a client in about 15 minutes, so I'm going to go get prepared for that. I'm going to post the link to this. I look forward to speaking with all of you who want to talk to me about what's going on with your thyroid problem. And thank you for joining. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing your stories. Every time you guys share and talk about your struggles and your challenges, it just empowers someone else to do the same, to let them know that they're not alone. And, if there's one thing I can say about all of us walking around with Hashimoto's or Graves' disease, is that we do feel alone, because it's an invisible disease, right? On the outside, you look fine. On the outside, you look normal. People expect you to be able to function and do the things that a healthy, normal person should do, and you can't. And it's really hard. You feel alone. You don't feel like anyone understands you. And so just know that you aren't alone, that you are, that we do see you. The rest of us who are in it, who have been there, who have done that, we see you. We understand what you're going through, and we are here for you. Okay? Thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you on the next video. Bye for now.